Hi there and welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. Today's Father's Day, and although this will be playing a different day, I thought, why not talk about fathers? When you think about fathers, what sort of things come to your mind? I think of somebody strong, somebody who knows better, who taught me lessons, who was always my safety net, there to catch me when I fell, there to encourage me. Not everybody still has their dad, and not everybody has always had a good experience with their father. But fathers are usually the first man in our lives that act as a pillar of strength, somebody to teach us and guide us and protect us. I've been blessed with the best father. My dad was originally from Italy, so European culture, background, strong personality. A lot of my friends were afraid of him growing up because he was so tall and big, but he was a big teddy bear. He would give you the shirt off his back. Just so genuinely kind and wanted what's best for all of us, my sisters and my brother. He would do anything to help us learn right from wrong, teach us morals and values growing up, and encourage us to learn by doing. He taught us the importance of good work ethic, working hard for what we have. And yes, he spoiled us rotten, but he always made sure that we learned that others may not have. And we were lucky, and that we should never take anything for granted. I was the oldest daughter, and so I was daddy's little girl. I was the firstborn, and we had this really special relationship, and still do till this day. I learned so many lessons from my dad, but I most of all think I learned his spirit of being a fighter and never giving up on his dreams from him. He was a hard worker, a businessman, and he always wanted what's best for my sisters and I. He showed me with a gentle hand the right way to go and would encourage me to fail sometimes, but to pick myself up and brush myself up and do again, over and over again. I have so many funny stories that I love to share with you, but I remember him teaching me how to drive. And let's face facts. The first time you get into a car, it's a scary thing. You're excited as a young kid. And my little sister Trish decided she wanted to be part of it, so she got into the back seat. So we're driving down a straight street in the community, on a residential street. No other cars anywhere close, straight ahead. And we're approaching a stop sign. And no joke, about 30 feet away, he starts to yell, "Stop!" And I panic, of course. And I'm hitting the brakes. My sister's crying. She's like, "I want out of here." And he kept pushing me, but I was so afraid. First of all, that I was going to let him down, and also that I was going to crash the car. But he was patient with me. He showed me and taught me how to drive. And I remember having to go my final in-class lesson for driving school. And it wasn't at the regular spot, which was around my corner. The class actually was moved to a place about 20 minutes away from where we lived. And I've been practicing on my mom's station wagon. That's the car I was driving. But my dad had a big Lincoln town car, and he showed up to pick me up from there. And I got into the passenger side and he goes, "What are you doing? Get into the driver's side, you're driving me home." I was like, "I can't drive this boat, it's so big." He said, "Yes, you can." He believed in me, and he probably was gripping on the side for dear life as I drove that boat home. But I got there. And those are the things I remember most, is my dad's quiet encouragement and his belief in me. When I had my stroke, my dad, this pillar of strength that I'd always gone to for advice and guidance, cried. I actually saw my dad cry. I didn't believe it. This strong man, how could he be so rattled? How could he be hurting? But he did. He was so hurt because his baby was going through hell. Was his baby going to live? I heard people tell me that they had seen him sobbing because he was afraid for me. I saw my dad as a human being, not just as this God-like figure in my life who would always show me right from wrong. He would come to me every single day in the hospital and talk to me. He'd tell me to fight like hell, that I was an Italian stallion, that nothing would get me down, that I just needed to hang on and fight. He believed in me at times when nobody else believed in me. He encouraged me through his actions by demonstrating how I should emulate him without saying so, but by me wanting to. He would come to the hospital every morning before he'd go to work, and I would have had a rough night, and he'd come and he'd feed me, and we had this inside joke because the nurse every time would come to my room in the morning and ask me what day it was, where I was, and things like that. Well, in the hospital, the days all started to blend together. So as soon as he'd come in, I said, okay, Dad, what day is it? He'd tell me. I'd try to remember. And he goes, where are you? I'd know the name of the hospital and things like that. So when the nurse came in, I was perfect. I knew exactly what was going on. My dad was afraid for me. He was afraid that I wasn't going to see. He was afraid that I had lost some of my capabilities and my memory. So he would quiz me on math questions or, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And you know what? That helped me, after my stroke, get my brain back functioning. He may not have known what he was doing. He was just trying to get his old Melanie back. But it really helped guide me to where I needed to be to start my road to recovery. He would wash my hair for me. He would feed me. He would do so much that no father should be expected to do for this 21-year-old daughter. I remember one time he washed my hair, and they had this tray that you could do it when the person was laying in the bed. But he forgot to take the plug out to go into the bucket below. And he's washing my hair. I'm like, Dad, the bed's getting wet. And we were drenched. I was drenched from head to toe. And the bed was soaked. But he didn't even notice, kept washing my hair. But he didn't care. He was just so great. He made me feel beautiful, even when I was in my worst situation. He was there to wipe my tears after heartaches of breaking up with boys when he told me they were good for nothing. And he was great. He always had these creative names for the boys I dated. Screwball, butthead, dumbass. The list goes on and on. My dad always wants what's best for me till this day. I don't know, looking back, I probably didn't always listen to all of his advice, and I learned the hard way. But he's taught me so many lessons in my life and has helped me become the woman I am today because of his strength and his belief in me. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. Fathers play a big part in all of our lives, and each of us is fortunate to have one. And unfortunately, they're not here for always. Sometimes we'll be without them. So while they're here, we need to appreciate them and we need to love them. We need to tell them how we feel. During COVID-19, I called my dad every Sunday, and he finally said to me, you don't have to call me every week, And I said, yes, I do. I wanted to, not only because I was afraid, because I was so far from him and that he was in the vulnerable sector. It's hard to think of our parents as getting older, but I wanted to make sure that he knew how much I loved him and appreciated him. And it shouldn't take something like COVID-19 for us to share our feelings with our fathers, to appreciate them. Not for all the stuff they buy us and the games they used to play with us. That's all important too as a child, but as an adult, we have to look at our relationship as an appreciative child who is thankful for all that they taught and all they sacrificed for us, because without them, we wouldn't be who we are. There's so many fathers around the world that I want to just acknowledge and say thanks, whether they're your actual father or a father figure in your life. Appreciate them. Thank them when you have the opportunity to. And to all of the husbands out there who are fathers to little kids, you've got a big role and big shoes to fill. Make sure that you're there for your child. Make sure you're there to help guide them. Because that's what fathers are really there for, to teach us, to guide us, and to protect us. It's a big job being a father, and I'm sure glad I have mine. Dad, I love you. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share. We'll catch you next time.